All right, man. I think Mikey Garcia got sour grapes. Mikey Garcia picks Manny Pacquiao to beat Terence Crawford. Something I think is absolutely bananas, man. What is Mikey Garcia thinking? Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. So let's talk about this welterweight division. As you know, it is my favorite division. You've got a lot of really great fighters. You have Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. I think if I didn't say Terence Crawford, obviously him. Even young guys like Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. Contenders, tough contenders like Danny Garcia and Danis Ugas. You got guys out there like Jamal James. Just a bunch of a very, very packed welterweight division. But, and I say this all the time, it is about two people in that division for who's the best in that division. And that is between Spence Jr., the #1 welterweight in the world, and Terence Bud Crawford, the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. And please, goodness gracious, stop asking me why that cannot be the case. Okay, I've got to do it every video because that way, if I don't do it, I'm going to get a bunch of comments in the comment section asking me. Look, the way that can happen is that Terence Crawford there's 4 scoring criteria in boxing. You have defense, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and clean and effective punching. That's how you score a boxing match. And since that's the way you score a boxing match, in order to say who's the best, you've got to look at those scoring criteria. When I look at the scoring criteria, I say, hey, it seems to me that Terence Crawford has the best balance of all of those things. And yes, I know that he has not fought as many people as, say, a Manny Pacquiao has, or have the names on his resume that Manny Pacquiao has. But hey, he's beaten everybody that he's supposed to be in there with. He unified a title. He won at 130, was undisputed at 140, and now at 147 pounds. He's still beating people up, although they are a little less of, level of competition than I would like. But I'm tired of Woolbag and Drink More Water, who come to my channel all the time, getting on me. I thought I'd give him a break and tone it down. He does need to get in there with some top level fighters. And Manny Pacquiao, back to the subject of the video, Manny Pacquiao is one of the guys that they're talking about him being able to fight. So I'm excited about it, except for, hey, if needs be. I would prefer to see Manny Pacquiao fight Spence Jr. because that's what Manny Pacquiao said he wanted to do after Spence Jr. had beaten the same person we're talking about, Mikey Garcia. But you had Manny Pacquiao in the audience looking at the fight, and the dude is from the Philippines, okay? So he's a senator in the Philippines. Why would he come all the way to Dallas? Just for that, right? Just to see the fight because he wanted to be there? No, to call out the winner. And I think he was thinking that maybe the better boxing IQ, Mikey Garcia was going to pull it off, but he didn't. So Spence Jr. was there for him to fight. He decided not to do it. He fights Keith Thurman. But this is the thing that's a little bit ironic about what Mikey Garcia is saying. Mikey Garcia, the reason that Mikey Garcia says that he's picking Manny Pacquiao to beat Terence Crawford is because of the performance that Manny Pacquiao had against Keith Thurman. He said that, I don't remember who he picked, but he said that he really was surprised by Manny Pacquiao and how good Manny Pacquiao looked in that fight. So, hey, man, he looks like he's ready to go and he'd be able to beat Terence Crawford too. Like making, kind of like the idea that Terence Crawford and Keith Thurman are the same level of fighter. And I don't think that they are. If they were at a point, I think they were at a point in time, probably, right? Maybe they were at a point in time, the same level, but general level. Terence Crawford's been better than Keith Thurman the whole time, if you ask me. But Keith Thurman could definitely fight. The problem, though, is that Keith Thurman wound up being injured for 2 years. And then he was coming back. He still wasn't all the way back. At least that's what he says, hey, and you can take it with a grain of salt if you want, but it's reasonable after being out with multiple injuries, surgeries for 2 years. You come back for one fight, and he said that he couldn't really hook with his left hand. So all he could really do is just jab. All he could do is jab Josecito Lopez, on the tip of the nose and keep it going. But he just didn't look very good. And then Manny Pacquiao decides to fight him and wins a close fight. A close fight. That was not some blowout fight. It was a close fight. That's not the state that the Terence Crawford is in. But regardless, like I said, I would rather have Manny Pacquiao fight Errol Spence Jr. But Bob Arum has been floating, at least been saying that they have had conversations with Mikey Garcia. Conversations with Terence Crawford in the fight. It was getting, the fight's getting closer. Whatever, I don't know how it could get closer where, when people don't really know it's coming, that people don't know when we're actually going to be able to have fights of that magnitude. Now, if you, and this is a good thing, I believe it's a good thing anyway. We've been having fights. It's coming on, there's starting to be more of them. There was a ESPN fight last night. There's an ESPN card tonight that unfortunately I wasn't able to watch, but we don't really know when boxing is going to be able to come back. But anyway, Mikey Garcia says that he thinks that Terence Crawford can beat him because of the Keith Thurman victory. To me, that looked like a close fight. I think Terence Crawford walks through him. And now to be truthful, I think that Mikey Garcia probably believes that too. It's just that Mikey Garcia is doing something similar to what Sugar Ray Leonard did when Sugar Ray Leonard was asked who would win between Errol Spence Jr. and Mikey Garcia. His answer was, Mikey. And why, Sugar Ray? because he's Mikey. What Sugar Ray more than likely did was answer that question in a way where he was given the answer that he thought the people in that crowd wanted to hear. That's what that is. Because I don't believe that Sugar Ray Leonard actually believed that. And Mikey Garcia, I don't think he actually believes that either. You can look at the Keith Thurman fight and say Manny Pacquiao looked good in the Keith Thurman fight, but you also have to remember the Juan Manuel Marquez fight and one of the Timothy Bradley fights and the Eric Morales fight and the Jeff Horn fight and the Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight. Manny Pacquiao loses. He's not somebody that is undefeatable, even though his reputation never seems to take a hit, no matter what his performance is. And people continue to hold out this belief that he is going to be around forever and that he can be, move up to fight Gennady Golovkin, right? That's that type of fantasy. Now, I know I did a video about him and saying that Manny Pacquiao fighting Gennady Golovkin is similar to Canelo Alvarez fighting what's his name? Sergey Kovalev. And it is in a way, but still, if there's anything whatsoever left in Gennady Golovkin's tank, he should be able to beat Manny Pacquiao. But people, he can beat Deontay Wilder. I'm surprised some Manny Pacquiao fans don't think he can beat just pretty much anybody. And he has about as much chance of beating. He does. I think, is that about the same? Gennady Golovkin versus Terence Crawford. I think he might have a better chance actually of beating Gennady Golovkin than he has of beating Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is faster. Terence Crawford hits harder. Terence Crawford moves better. Terence Crawford at this. Now, the one problem though is, and this was something that was put in the article that I read think it was Boxing News 24, where they talked about, obviously the supposed Achilles heel on Terence Crawford, which would be his chin. He did get wobbled quite seriously by Yuriorkis Gamboa, and I believe that he got knocked down. He definitely got shook. Even if he didn't really get knocked down, if it was a slip, and looked like no slip to me, but there is obviously the issue with maybe his chin. But anyway, that's my take on it. I think Mikey Garcia is just talking and trying to be complimentary of Manny Pacquiao, who he thinks is a legend, and quite honestly, who he wants to have a fight with too. And that was a whole nother line of conversation that we didn't go through. But anyway, you let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.